Okay, anyhow. I thought I should pop up here, do another chat. Yep, fear, money, eagle. Yep, a little bit about fear and money and eagle, and how this is the root cause of our problems in society. It really is. When you look at the big picture and you look at the social engineering that's going on, powers to be, military industrial complex, and all of the branches that's gone into this, to engineering, to controlling people's thoughts, controlling people's behaviors, to teach people only what you want them to know, to hide the truth, and even when people see the truth, they don't want to acknowledge the truth because of personal responsibility, like recognizing right from wrong, checking oneself, being willing to change oneself's behaviors, to throw away the social engineering. And it doesn't matter if it's over on the so-called phony baloney truther side, speaking on the political end, the false flags, and the on, the wars going on. Okay, it doesn't matter. Or if it's over on the manosphere side, you know, men's right activists, going their own way, incel, TFL, on and on and on. It doesn't matter. There's one main reason that nothing ever changes. And the reason being that nothing ever changes is because nobody will stand up to corruption. That's right. Oh, what few people stand up for corruption are very few and far between. They really are. Looks like I have a bad signal there. Let me refresh the page and see if that helps any. Not going to say it will or won't. Okay. Not much I can do about that. Most of the time it's more clear than that. Matter of fact, it's more clear than that on my side over here, which means it's the stream itself, but there's not a lot I can do about that. Okay, but anyhow, let's get back to what I was talking about before I noticed what was going on over here. Okay, and I think it's important to talk about this because the fact is, you wonder how you could go on television set 365 days a year and have male bashing, male shaming, male shaming, male shaming, male shaming in your face. And how so many millions of men all know this is true, but nobody says a damn thing about it. Nobody. And what few and far in between people like myself and others that have said something, there's so few of us, and it falls on deaf ears. It really does. And then you look at all the false flags that's going on, all the lies and propaganda, but yet nobody's seemed to stand up to stop that neither, right? Of course they haven't. They're not going to. Nobody's going to stand up to the criminals at the top, the corruption, for these reasons. Fear. That's right. Fear of losing their job. Isn't this why most people hide themselves on the internet? Yeah. Fear of being recognized by somebody, losing your job, or not fitting in. That's right, not fitting in. Not willing to be an individual human being with your own thoughts, feelings, emotions, wants, and needs, and not worry about what anybody else thinks about you. The majority of people are worried about what other people think about them and will deny it right in your face, but actions always speak louder than words. Actions always have. Actions actually tells the truth. So you can come up and you can lie, but your actions will tell everybody you're a liar. You'll get mad at somebody for calling you out, but your actions tell on you. But you won't stand up. I mean, come on, let's look at the real picture here. If I go over to the truther side, the fraudulent truther side, that is, they're corrupted by people with ego. That's right. They're there for all the wrong reasons. They want that popularity, right? They want to be that little mini star for 15 minutes or whatever. But they're here for all the wrong reasons. Or they have delusional thoughts how they can beat the powers to be through delusional thoughts. Because, see, the real truth is the reason the so called powers to be, the elite, whatever name you want to call them, the Illuminati, the bankers, the corporations, I don't care what name you want to call it, okay? The real reason they get by with what they're doing is because everybody fails to stand up. Why do they fail to stand up? Fear. Then, of course, money. These are the two things that lock you down. They keep you weak. They keep you docile. They keep you from standing up and taking your freedom and your rights and your power back away from these psychopathic criminals. Y'all know the media lies to you on a regular basis. At least the majority of people should by now. I'm sure we got some bumbling ones out there that just don't see it at all. But that's not the point. There's so much controversy surrounding the propaganda, which is lies. That's what propaganda is lies. Okay? And media is literally being paid to lie. These people are making what? Money. Money. They're living on lying to you. So when you watch media, with your television set, your brainwashing box, you are fed lies. You are fed propaganda. You're not fed truth. We're in a world where lies is running everything. And then I get my kicks out of watching people saying they hate liars. They want honesty. They don't want honesty at all. That's another lie. Because when you tell this person who wants truth, they get angry at you. They get mad. They get furious. They become wounded by truth. That happens a lot over in the truther community. So-called truthers speaking out get wounded by truth. So when you get wounded by truth, then you really have to question the person who's calling themselves a truther. How could you possibly become wounded, upset, had your little feelers hurt by truth if you're a truther? Oh, that's because you're a selective truther, right? You only select out what truth you want to believe in. And you disregard truth that you don't want to believe in or that you don't want to talk about because you want to fit in. That's right. So, in the reality of things, regardless of which side it's on, everybody's scared. They're scared of one thing or the other. They're scared of being ostracized by society, or, on the truther side when it comes to the manosphere, you'll run all the women off. There you go. Scared to tell the truth for what somebody might think of them for telling truth while they're calling themselves a truther. Hypocrites, pathetic, scared little cowards. Oh, they can talk the talk. They can act big and tough. That's not hard to do on video, is it? They could post a video and tell you how brave they are, and there ain't nobody coming to their house, and they'll do this, and they'll do that, and they'll do this and this and that, and how big and brave and tough they are. That's easily said from behind your keyboard. But in reality, their actions tells on them, especially the truthers. Why? Because when the topic crosses over to the manosphere, they become angry. They become scared to talk about these issues because somebody might think there's something wrong with them because they're not thinking with the all hive mind, the brain in the jar. That's right. They'll deny what's right in their face. How do you deny it? When it's so in your face, all you got to do is turn on your television set. Women are the ones being oppressed. Women are the ones being oppressed. But when you open your eyes and look, you see it's actually men that's being oppressed, and it's always been men being oppressed. It's never been women. Ever. We turned the truth upside down on its head, and you all fell for it. And then, of course, you're ashamed to talk about that because you wouldn't want to run all the corrupt women off, would you? See, a real woman who isn't corrupt ain't going to care if you're telling them the truth, even if it's about their gender or your gender. They're going to accept the truth when it's about both genders because they see it themselves. And they're not going to run away from you. The only women that are going to run from you are the ones that are on that pedestal, the corrupt ones. The ones who fear their superiority is being challenged. Because that's really what it's about. It's about the ultimate superiority over another human being. Other human beings want to be over other human beings. Making labels, making names. We've done this for years, haven't we? We got geeks, we got nerds. That's right. We hear people being called losers all the time, and that's the majority of that's being said to a man, not a woman. That's right. You have all this stuff going on so in your face. You have people so proud to be in a relationship and they'll do a list up on Facebook of the things that they feel, blah, blah, blah. And a female do this and she'll write something like, her husband walks on eggshells around her because she's the one with the bad temper. So he walks on eggshells and she has a little smiley next to that. How does she have a little smiley next to making somebody walk on eggshells? Why is he even with her if he has to walk on eggshells? What she really said is, I treat my guy like a piece of dirt because I'm above him, because I'm superior to him, and I better get my wants. That's really what she's screaming out loud. That she has entitlement issues, that she believes somehow she's a boss. She don't treat him as a friend or an equal. Because why would he be walking on eggshells to be around her? See? Now, why do I say that? Because I was going looking through a post that was posted, and for Valentine's Day, the fake love day. That day that you lie to each other and say you love each other when neither one of you know what love is. You tell the guy that you're dumping all over how much you love him. Is that how much you love what he gives you? Because you don't actually love him. You just love what's being given to you or what you can steal from him. Don't say you actually love him, because you wouldn't be proud of him walking on eggshells if you really loved him. And if he had half a brain, he wouldn't be with you. If he feared your temper because you were treating him like dirt. Because he wouldn't walk on eggshells for no reason at all. You see how the naiveness is? Because they tell on themselves without knowing it through their own wording. That's really what that equals. And there's no way around that, okay? But this is what we have going on. You know, men are so thirsty and men are so screwed up because they've sexualized our world, completely sexualized our world, to where everybody's minds, and I'm not going straight across the board because we have our good people out here that ain't, but they're outnumbered big time. Well, everybody's mind's in one spot only. Everything's about a game. You know what game really is in the dating arena? It's your ability to be a con artist, a liar, a manipulator, a deceiver. Whoever does the best job of being a criminal, being a deceiver or liar, that's what game is. So when you say you have to have game in the dating arena, what you're talking about is who's the best liar, who's able to lie and manipulate another human being and fuck with their feelings the best to get their own selfish want. Yeah. So other human beings' emotions and feelings becomes a game to be toyed with, and then you would wonder why there's so domestic tempers and anger and domestic violence and punching and hitting and all the abuse that's going on. And then you would sit there and wonder why that's happening, huh? Because you created that situation because you was dumb enough to fall for the lie that you had to have game. That's right. And so you went out and put on a fake face. And you went out there and you acted in that manner. Fake, fraudulent. Just like with the truthers. They fake, they're fraudulent. They scream about this false flag, that false flag, this, that, NWO, the wars, the this, the that, the that, the that. But you don't see anybody standing up. You don't see anybody talking about what are we going to do to stop these people? How are we going to put a stop to this corruption? You won't hear that being talked about. Nobody talks about that. The reason they don't talk about that is because, once again, fear. Fear of losing your job. Fear of maybe dying. That's right. Fear of getting killed, fighting back. Fear of losing your income, your home, your belongings. Fear of losing what you've worked for. Fear. Okay? Money. The matrix. The money. What everybody has to have to survive. Being solely owned and controlled by a handful of people. When a monetary system of a nation belongs to the people of the nation, not a single family. But we corrupted that and allowed that monetary system to be belonged and owned by a single family, which should never have happened in a billion, trillion, billion years. Because the monetary system is something that should be owned and controlled by the people of that nation, of that country, on a global scale. It should never be owned by private individuals who can use it for corruption, because that's exactly what they do with it. They've used it as a tool to lock you down. Because without it, you can't buy food. Without it, you can't have shelter or a roof over your head. Without it, you can't have all of your trinkets, right? So therefore, you wouldn't want to lose that by fighting back against corruption, would you? Do you see what I'm talking about now? And over on the truth of community side, of course, then of course we have this in the dating arena too. We have people with ego. And they let their ego control them. And once you allow your ego to control you, it's the same thing as power and greed. It absolutely corrupts. Power absolutely corrupts the human mind. Greed absolutely corrupts the human mind. Ego absolutely corrupts the human mind. And this is where people get mad at me for calling out ego. You know, because it needs to be called out. It's been needing to be caught out for a long time. On a job site, the person with the ego is the one that their head swells up and believes they're better than everybody else. They're the ones over there bending down and kissing their bosses, you know what, for a position. Then when they get a position, their head swells up even more and their ego inflates and they treat everybody under them lower than dirt. Yeah, no lie. Fact. Okay? And they're dumping all over people. They're doing it onto other people that what they would never want done onto themselves. They're not willing to self-check themselves because the first thing they're going to say is there's nothing wrong with me. I somehow grew up in a different society than you, and I wasn't socially engineered. I didn't fall for any of the lies because I'm above that from the time I was a baby. I was born a genius when I was come out of my mom's womb. I was 1 day years old and I was already a genius. BS. That's really what they're saying. Complete hogwash. They grew up in the same world you did with the same BS going on you did. They're socially engineered just like you are. The difference between them and you, the guy with no ego or the woman with no ego, is they won't self-check themselves because they know they're perfect already. So they're a perfect idiot. They're already screwed up in the head, and they should just shut their mouth. But they're not going to do that because their ego will tell them that I need to speak out because I need to inflate my ego some more. It makes me feel good when people look up at me and I'm above them and I can look down on them. Then my ego will tell me I'm smarter than them, I'm more intelligent than them, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. And in reality, it's the corruption of the ego that causes this. Because they're actually not more smarter than anybody else. Okay, maybe they're a little smart, they know more or have more of an education in one certain area in their life or a couple certain areas than a whole bunch of people around them have. But them whole bunch of people around them that ain't good at them skills probably have a couple skills they're really good at that this person with their inflated ego is no good with. So how would that person with the inflated ego like the other person with the inflated ego looking down on him because looking down on him or her because they're good at this and you ain't? Do you see the hypocrisy in that? We're going to sit there and place ourselves on a level and put ourselves above another human being based on bullshit. Excuse my language. Think about it. That's really what it's on. It's all based on BS. Because it's going to be based on total BS. You're either going to have more of the tool, money, live in a more expensive house, have a better lawn, a better car. That's right. Or you got a position on a job. You're the boss. You're the executive. You're this, you're that. So you allow this to swell your head and you look down on other people that ain't in your position. You become corrupt. Power. See, it doesn't matter. That's power. And then there's greed. When you look down on other people because you have more of that tool, that money than another person, do you follow where I'm going here? That's corruption. When your ego swells up and you believe you're more intelligent, more this, more that because of your ego, that's corruption. It's the exact same corruption. But most of you can't see that. You wonder why nothing ever changes? Well, it's because of these things right here. Fear, money, and ego. Them are the three killers of changing anything in society. Because you're never going to change anything in society as long as these three things control your life. You will not stand up to the powers to be, to law enforcement, the powers to be, to criminal politicians. You will not stand up and stand together in groves. The reason you won't stand together in groves, of course, is because you're also all divided. Because you don't have the ability to care about other people. That was more of the social engineering. They took that away from you. The only thing you have the ability to care about is your immediate self and your surroundings. And then you go with the old saying that you got to look out for number one. It's all about number one. And we all know who number one is, your selfie self. So as long as your mindset is locked into this matrix, these things that I'm talking about right now, you have already lost. The evil we're fighting against has already kicked your ass. Excuse my language. You couldn't win this battle if you tried. Doesn't matter how hard you think and how tough you think you are and how smart you think you are. They have already outsmarted you, caboosed you, thrown the blanket over your face. They're laughing at you because they know what I know. There's only one way to beat the criminals that are doing this to us, and that's through masses, millions of people globally standing up together, fighting the same causes. And we all know that ain't going to happen. And it's not going to happen for every reason I just gave you. You would rather fight the other content producer on YouTube than fight against your real enemy. Because you don't have to worry about what? Losing your job? Losing your tool, your money? You don't have to worry about if you're on the manosphere side being ostracized, called names. Might run all the women off. Yep. Meanwhile, we have millions of men sitting back daily, turning on their television set, being bashed and smashed and bashed and smashed, you know, taking a hammer, pounding themselves on the head, bashed and smashed, and bending over and getting out the lube and saying, yeah, I'll take it. Yep, I've bent over now for you. That's what we have. Well, you might scare all the women off. You might be ostracized. You may not fit in. And if you don't fit in, what am I going to do about that? Oh no, I can't not fit in. I have to fit in with the rest around me. I don't want to look strange or different. That's really what's going on. You know, it's sad because it shouldn't be going on, but it is. And then you would wonder why, even over on the truther community, we have a situation where you can't change nothing. How are you going to change anything? It's actually not possible. It's just not possible for you to change a damn thing. Because you fail to understand that it's going to take numbers of people caring about one another as much as they care about themselves, recognizing right from wrong, recognizing what they're doing to us, and being brave enough to put their two on the line, their job on the line, their belongings on the line, their life on the line, and standing up and working together to go after these criminals, to bring a stop to them. It's the only way we will ever stop them. It's the only way all of this corruption will come to an end. And all the people responsible, even your media, who gladly gets up there for the tool and lies to you daily, all need to be held accountable for their actions. Every last one of them. Because they're destroying your society. They're destroying you. They're destroying the families. They're destroying people. They're destroying human beings' lives. And you going along with it help them destroy your life and take your own freedom away from you through your ignorance, and you don't even know that's what you're doing. You're taking your freedoms away from yourselves, and you don't even know it. Because, you know, when we can sit here and we can tell you till we're blue in the face, but it means nothing to you. You've turned everything into a game, a sport, a competition, an arena. You don't take nothing seriously. men going their own way was the answer to solving the war between the genders. Because it would have caused people to back up and think about how they're treating one another. But we couldn't do that, could we? No. We had to be fakes and frauds about that too, didn't we? Yeah, you dang right you did. So therefore, it could never work. Because you're not for real to begin with. You're fakes, you're frauds, you're phonies. This is what we have online. It's fakes and frauds and phonies, 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 fakes and frauds and phonies. Cowards, 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 all of you are. You're going to say, no, I'm not. I'm not no coward. Well, then why don't the manosphere come together, huh? The common denominator between MRA, okay, men's right activists, TFL, the True Force Loneliness guys, Incel, and the fraudulent men going their own way, the common denominator is all of you men are all having the same complaints. And you're telling truth about your complaints, but you're not willing to work together and make plans of what we can do about that. You're going to watch your TV set, watch yourself be bashed down, smashed down, and do not a damn thing about it. And you're going to try to one up each other because it's a game, it's a sport, it's a competition, it's an arena. And while you're busy trying to one up each other for more brownie points, who's the bigger victim? You're acting just like the globalists want you to. You're a bunch of bumbling idiots. They couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag made of toilet paper. Pretty damn sad. And I'm sorry if I seem like I'm slamming so many people, but I'm just telling you the truth. You know that thing that you don't want to hear that you claim you want to hear? When you said you don't want to be lied to, you want honesty? Remember all you people out there that say you want to be honest? You want to be honest? You're an honest person and you want honesty? But your actions scream different? Because you're madder than hell now from hearing the truth? Because you was wounded by the truth? You know all of you people that's been wounded by the truth? You never wanted honesty to begin with. You were a liar. You're a deceiver. It's all a game to you. Well, the real reason you don't want honesty, isn't that right? Because that means taking personal responsibility. That means self-checking yourself. It means recognizing right from wrong. It means self-discipline. You wouldn't want to do that now, would you? No, because that's self-discipline. That means you would have to actually do something. Yeah. So I just wanted to give up here, and I'm not going to stay long, and give this little rant because it needs to be said. The reason you can never defeat evil is because you're all cowards. You're fear. And most of that fear is related to not fitting in. That's right, being scared of not fitting in. Okay? Or scared of losing your job. The monetary system. What's holding you in place? Money. Who's controlling that money? The very people that are doing all this criminal stuff to us. This is why the monetary system of a country has to be owned and controlled by the people of that country, not no single entity as it is. See how they got you all locked down? Slaves. See how they have you all locked down now? Because we allowed them to. And you see why we won't stop them now? Because somebody would have to take personal responsibility by the millions and be able to care about other people as much as they do themselves, care about what's right and wrong, and take self-discipline actions to change their own behaviors and become brave and be willing to put their lives on the line, their livelihood on the line, their lives on the line, and do it by millions because it's the only way we could ever change it. See, they get their power from us, listening to them. And the reason you listen to them is because of your fear. That's right. Scaring the kajivas out of you. Lying to you. So, it's sad because when I look at both sides, I see what it really is. Fear. Fear of not fitting in. Fear of losing your job, your resources, your money, what you worked for. An ego that inflated your head, which is the same thing as power and greed. Corrupted your mind. And you wouldn't self-check yourself because your ego ran wild with you. You're as bad as an alcoholic. You may not be an alcoholic or a drug addict, but you might just well be. Because your ego is the drug that's controlling you. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. I just wanted to come up and have this little rant because the truth is so in your face. The manosphere needs to be standing together and working together. Men should be furiously upset over what goes on their television set, and they should be screaming about it. But they're all too big of cowards to do so. On the manosphere side, just total cowards. Won't do anything about it. Won't work together. Won't stand up to try to stop the problems. Nope. We're just going to throw each other under a bus. We're going to have our division and act like a bunch of little children. And then over on the other side, we're going to be here for all the wrong reasons, our own little popularity and our inflated egos. And we don't want to come together neither. Oh, we'll come together and whine and bitch at each other about what's going on. But that's all the further it's going to go, right? Yeah. Just like in the manosphere. It's all the further it's going to go, right? And you wonder why you've already lost, huh? You wonder why TFL's getting worse? Because you people have done nothing about it. You know why they get by with the false flags? Because you've done nothing about it. You know why we're in war right now, stealing other people's resources and killing innocent people? Because you people won't stand up for yourselves. You know why law enforcement's such thugs? Because they won't stand up for right and wrong. They're not here for right and wrong. They're order followers for the tool, for the money. They won't think about their actions or what they're doing to another human being. No lie. Just like Border Patrol and the phony baloney wall bullshit that's going on right now in the media and Trump, the puppet. That's right, the puppet Trump. You know that Hollywood show that the government's giving you right now? They're no different than Hollywood. They're all actors. Except for the rich psychopathic actors. Psychopaths. Okay? This is really what it all is. The truth is so in your face. You cannot stop these problems, stop the corruption, stop anything that's going on, including in the manosphere, until you take your heads out of you know what. And you stop playing games. And stop trying to be a bigger victim and grow the hell up. I've always said mankind's epic failure was their ability to grow the hell up. Okay, so, there's nothing more I can say about that. But this is the real reason nothing ever changes right here in your face. Fear, money, and ego. And it can never change as long as these things control you. Until you grow up, grow a pair, and be willing to put your lives on the line, and be willing to stand together to fight for the same cause. Nothing is ever going to change. End of story.